I think we would all agree we live in a technology-driven world. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. We can do and accomplish almost anything that we need to. We don't even have to leave our homes. People are working from homes. We can order food. We can order our groceries. We can order anything we want on Amazon. It just takes a mouse click, a keyboard, a touch screen. We can do all of these things and we don't even have to interact with anybody if we want to. I love technology, but that's not the kind of world I want to live in. I take advantage of it every day. I use it every day, but a world where there's no interaction with people is not a world where I want to be. And it's not a world where we should want to be as followers of Jesus. You see, people, even though they can be annoying sometimes, need to be at the top of our list. And we need to focus on our interactions and our relationships with people. Thanks for joining me again for the next week in our B.L.E.S.S series. We've been looking at these 5 simple practices that we can incorporate into our life to love on people, to make a difference and make an impact in the world around us. We've looked at B, begin with prayer. And then we went to L, where we're talking about listen. And we know that listening is a skill. Sometimes it requires us to work at it. But we want to listen intently. We want to listen with a caring heart. And then last week we talked about eat. Eat together is something we do every day anyway, most of us multiple times a day, bringing people to the table with us and having conversation around that. And then this week we're looking at our first S, which is serve. We're talking about serving, being in relationship with people and helping people, serving them. You know, I want you to just pause for a minute. If you need to, close your eyes. Think about the last time that you helped someone. Maybe it was as simple as opening a door and holding it for them. Maybe picking up something that had fallen. Helping a neighbor. Could be a big project, but just think about that last time that you helped someone for just a moment. Now think about how you felt. I'm willing to bet that there's joy in that moment. You probably felt happy, because the reality is when we help someone, it goes beyond ourselves and it does something for us as it's doing something for others. In fact, there's an ancient Chinese proverb that says this: if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. But if you want happiness for a lifetime, help somebody. There's a lot of truth to that. In fact, scientists and studies have been done, and it's revealed to us that when we help others, it does something for us physically, mentally. It helps us. It lowers blood pressure. It extends life. It brings happiness and joy to us. It makes our lives better, but at the same time, it makes an impact on those people that we are helping or serving. Because here's at the core of what it does: it strengthens relationships. Jesus knew that. In fact, he not only knew that, he wanted to make sure his disciples knew that. In Mark chapter 10, we read an interesting interaction between James and John and Jesus. And the other 10 are there. Those are the 12 disciples. James and John, they come to Jesus and they say, "Hey, Jesus, we want you to do something for us." He says, "What would you like?" They say, "We want to sit at your right hand and your left hand. When all this is over and you're in glory, we want to be on the right and the left." Well, Jesus begins to answer them and basically says that that's not for me to decide, and you don't really understand what you're asking. It goes on as we read this story that the other 10 hear that, and it says that they become indignant with James and John. They become a little bit irritated, angry, like, this isn't fair. Why should they get to ask this, or why should they be in that position? I want you to hear how Jesus answers all of them. We read it in chapter 10 and beginning in verse 43. Jesus says this: "But it shall not be among you. Whoever would be great among you must be your servant. And whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Jesus said his purpose, his goal was not to come and be served, but was to serve and impact others. Mark records a number of interactions with Jesus and people and how he served them. And in your group discussion guide in just a moment, you'll have a chance to unpack some of those stories. There's a list of them. I want to encourage you to pick one or two, have someone read them and kind of unpack those. But as you read all the stories of how Jesus interacted with others and served them, I want to point out three things that we learn about how Jesus did that. First of all is a simple word: proximity. Jesus served those that were around him. I want to encourage you as we're walking through this and we're looking at how we love others, let's look for those that God has brought to us. You know, we often think of serving and doing something great and something big, but it's the people that God has placed in our lives, or the people that God is going to place in our lives, that we need to serve and that we need to focus on. So look at who is around us, that proximity. Also, Jesus served people personally. He understood not just their surface needs, but he dealt with them personally and understood what was important to them and what their real need was. He treated them with integrity. He treated them with dignity. He treated them with honor. And the third thing is powerful. When Jesus served, it was powerful. And I don't want you to miss this. It was powerful not just because he was Jesus, it was powerful because he did it in the power of his Father. You see, we have that same power today. When we serve, when we love on others, we have that same power when we invite God to be a part of what he's doing and the people that he's placed in front of us. So I want to encourage you, as we're putting all this together and we're thinking of how we love others and how we impact others on a simple daily basis. Think about those that are in your circle, those that you work with, those in your neighborhood, those that you come in contact with. Start there. Serve them. I know it'll do something for you, and I know with God's help, it'll do something for them that can change the course of their eternity. I hope you're enjoying this B.L.E.S.S series. We're getting ready to kind of wrap it up. We're on the downhill pace of it. It's been great to be with you, and I can't wait to see you next week.